If anybody would give him the benefit of the doubt, would give him fawning coverage, it would be his friends at Fox News. And yet,
I think you and me both, Brian, and everyone else in this room was also surprised. We were told that we were going to have an opportunity to put questions to both leaders after a joint press conference in the event that the meeting went well enough that they could set the stage for a second meeting. And the President Trump said if that didn't happen, he was likely to call off the joint presser and just address the media solo and then send Putin home. Neither of those things happened. And what was really stunning to me as someone who's been in a lot of these press conferences is there were a few things that were very unusual. You had Putin come out and address the press first. We are on U.S. soil here, and that left the media scrambling to get their headsets in. Usually it is the leader of the country, the host country of a summit, that speaks first and addresses the room in their language. But Putin started right off in Russian, and we all had to get our headsets on and listen to him rattle off this diatribe about the history of the U.S.-Russia relationship, making some allusions to something that we didn't get many details on, but also, without knowing the full background of it, there was something that he said that was a little bit alarming, I thought, that seemed like some of the things that he has done in the past, setting up false flags and that kind of thing, saying that we hope that Ukraine doesn't do anything to sabotage the progress that we made today, knowing full well that Ukraine has agreed to a ceasefire unconditionally for the last several months, and it has been Russia that has not agreed to a ceasefire. That was President Trump's main objective today. And when we did hear from the president, he said, we didn't get there, but we think that we can. So a lot of questions remaining for the President, Trump, not just about what was discussed in that room and what might be happening now, but also how that all happened back there. It was just very unusual, atypical, and I think we're all awaiting, the readout, because the way that it felt in the room was not good. It did not seem like things went well, and it seemed like Putin came in and steamrolled, got right into what he wanted to say, and got his photo next to the president and then left.
It seemed like Putin came in and steamrolled, got his photo with Trump, and left. Look, Fox can say whatever it wants, but I, for one, refuse to believe that the guy who owns Trump University, Trump Steaks, Trump Vodka, Trump Airlines, Trump Taj Mahal, Tour de Trump, and Trump the Game wouldn't be able to negotiate a deal with... What's that? All of them? Jesus Christ. So Trump pulled out all the stops for his big summit and ended up with no ceasefire, no second meeting, and no deal. And I'm sorry, but anyone who didn't think Trump would get absolutely rolled here is either a fool or has spent so much time up Trump's ass that they haven't gotten enough oxygen to their brains. Of fucking course, Trump got played. What incentive is there for Vladimir Putin to surrender anything when he already knows that he owns Donald Trump? The guy is so desperate for his validation and affection that he will, and has, bent over backwards to give him exactly what he wants at every turn. And in return, well, Trump rolled out the red carpet for a murderous dictator. And when I say red carpet, I'm not even being facetious. Yep, nothing like pulling out all the stops for the guy who humiliates you on your own turf. But when Trump fails, there's always his safety net to make sure that he doesn't fall too far.
Look, everything came up Trump in the U.S. today. This was his meeting on U.S. soil with U.S. bombers ahead. Look at the step and repeat behind them. It says pursuing peace. Do you think Vladimir Putin wanted to stand in front of a banner on U.S. soil a foot shorter than the U.S. president in front of words that say pursuing peace? That's the goal here. But that's President Trump's goal.
Yeah, and when we get details, I'll know. I can't weigh in until I find out what exactly they agreed on, but they both agreed to something. I just was texting back and forth with Sean Hannity, who just sat down with the president, and he said the president noted that he came out and said there wouldn't have been a war if he was president, and that's what part of Vladimir Putin said at the end of his written remarks. And he also said, in a scale of 1 to 10, I give today a 10. So that's the president grading what he thought of the meeting.
A 10 out of 10. Look, I know that the right loves railing against participation trophies, but boy do they love handing them out, especially to their very special president whose feelings are extra sensitive. I mean, honestly, How do you rate this a 10 with no ceasefire, no second meeting, no deal, unless your only job is getting on your knees to show your boss how loyal you can be? Okay, yeah, that makes total sense. And for those who say, you're being too hard on Trump, Putin's a tough guy and this is what negotiating really looks like, I'm going to put two photos on the screen. I want you to tell me which one looks like they're better positioned to negotiate on behalf of the United States. Here's a hint, it ain't the guy who looks like he just shit his pants. You might be asking too, why wasn't Zelensky at this meeting? Wouldn't it have made sense for a summit about a ceasefire between Russia and Ukraine to actually include Ukraine? And the answer was that Donald Trump wanted to do it all by himself. He wanted all the attention and all the credit. But now that he failed, watch him move the goalposts.
We were together almost 3 hours, and it was very extensive, and we agreed on a lot of points. I mean, a lot of points we're agreed on. But there's not that much. There's, one or two pretty significant items, but I think they can be reached. Now it's really up to President Zelensky to get it done. And I would also say the European nations, they have to get involved a little bit, but it's up to President Zelensky.
Look at that. Suddenly he deigns to allow the Ukrainian president to attend a meeting regarding Ukraine's freedom. How kind of him. Of course, the reason is that Donald Trump has come to accept the reality that he is wholly incapable of negotiating this deal, which is why the terms are changing in real time. In fact, he went so far as to offer advice to Zelensky.
What would your advice, based on today, when you talk to Vladimir Zelensky, what's your advice to...
Make a deal.
Make the deal.
Gotta make a deal, yeah. Look, Russia's a very big power.
Yeah, I mean, look, if I was Zelensky, I would definitely take Donald Trump's advice. After all, why wouldn't I listen to the guy who just got humiliated on the global stage? Also, note how Donald Trump says that Russia's a great power. Right, the country that was supposed to take Kyiv in 3 days has been fighting for 3.5 years. But Trump needs to frame Russia as formidable because that's the only way he doesn't look like a complete failure amid his embarrassment at the hands of Vladimir Putin. This isn't about reality, it is about protecting Trump's ego. Per usual. The reality is that when even the network that paid $787 million for lying on Trump's behalf can't spin this train wreck as a win, it's pretty clear that the summit was a failure and that Mr. Art of the Deal can't actually make one. Before you go, if you enjoyed this content and you want to see more and support independent media, please subscribe to this channel. The subscribe button will be right here on the screen. But second, the reality is that we are now in a political environment where this administration can lean on any of the social media platforms to suppress certain voices if they don't like critical coverage. That means my longevity here is in the hands of a few tech billionaires who are already making it clear that they are willing to cater to this administration. To that end, signing up for my newsletter is a way for me to reach you directly if that ever becomes necessary. I'll put the link right here on the screen as well, so please sign up. It's free, but there's also an option to do a paid subscription if you'd like to support me and my team. I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching.